Hey there, members of the Graveyard, and welcome to another Tekken 8 video. Today, I wanted to share with you guys some of the things I did to develop better playing habits. This will include ways to avoid burnout, a way to balance learning and playing. We also try to solve the age-old question of how much should I play? And finally, touching on how to deal with hand stamina. As always, there will be timestamps down in the description if you just wanted information on certain things, but if you get something out of this video, leave a like and comment whatever you feel like reading. Anything helps. And with that being said, let's jump right into it. So, the first thing I want to discuss today is how do we avoid burnout? Well, before we can solve the problem, we need to identify why it happens. So I'll just be working off of the reasons that gave me burnout during my journey. The biggest factor is too much grinding and not enough learning. Getting the games in is important, but we are still learning the game and are forgetting punishes, and we're not ducking, not sidestepping everything perfectly. So we need to dedicate time into learning. So how do we learn and get our games in? Well, everyone is different, but I have found a system that really works for me. So what I do is that anytime I face a strong opponent that is either really good or has just outright washed me, instead of going back into the games mad and frustrated, I'll go into my replays. Now, I usually pick a game that is close to 2-3 or 3-2. So let's go do that. Let's go find one. Let us find a replay that is a close game, and I consider, it being one round in difference is a close game. So you will turn on your match settings, and we will just think these Fang games might be good. Just see here. They all were. Wow, they were all 3-2 against him. Let's go to Tekken Emperor.
Get ready
So,
for the next
as we
battle.
hop in, our goal when doing this is to be quick and efficient with the information that we are gathering from this. So, we will pause as we hop in, make sure all of our settings are right.
Fight.
So we want to have tips turned on. I think I have my settings set up to be what I feel to be good settings for quick information. This isn't a deep dive. We're in here to gather information quickly so that we can get back into our games. So with that, just make sure, double check. All right, we're good. So again, the most important part that we need to remember before we do this is that we're not here to fix combos, and we're not here to work on theoretical offensive options. So once you start getting into those rabbit holes, I found that I end up spending way too much time on one replay, and we've now wasted precious practice time. So what are we here for? Well, I'll tell you. We are here for missed punishes, not ducking high strings, and not parrying low strings. These three things are what I consider to be the most generalized information that keeps our replay dives quick. But what about sidestepping? The thing about sidestepping is that it's hard to give general advice on sidestepping because everyone's sidestep is different. So it's kind of hard to say, yeah, practice the strings you can sidestep as well, but then not every character can sidestep every string. So if you're gonna stop for sidestepping, I would just take into consideration on how good your character's sidestep is. And if you just know that a string is sidesteppable, then great. Then for sure, spend time on fixing the fact that you didn't sidestep a string. But sidestepping is just a very complex and deeper thing versus just ducking and doing a punish correctly. So at the beginning level of Tekken, or even at the intermediate level of Tekken, this again can pull us into a deeper hole that we're not really trying to get into while we're during our playing sessions. So the thing that we're going to do is we are going to correct the mistakes. We're going to correct missed punishes 5 times. We're going to correct not ducking under high strings 5 times, and we're going to correct not low parrying low strings 5 times. And that is it. We do not want to obsess, because as we go through the replay, we will correct each time we make the mistake. Now, depending on the replay, this might take a while, and that's okay. So let's just go ahead and hop in and just do a small example. So the first time, right now, just immediately, Fang is one of my weakest matchups. I can never seem to get a Fang to play me for more than 1 to 2 games. But right away, we have a high string. I didn't duck. Not familiar with the string. I know of it. I know to duck it. My muscles, they just don't want to react. So we're going to go into the replay, and we're going to sit here. And we're going to wait for our moment, and that was the moment. And even then, I missed it. So we're going to enable the right side again, because I backed out of it. That's it. So we're going to retry it. Try not to predict it. Try to wait for the moment. Try to go a little before it happens, not right when it's happening, so we can develop reacting to it. And I believe that was 5. Might have been 1 too many, but that's essentially what we are doing. So then we're going to just sit here. We're going to watch. Yep, duck it, got it. We're not going to worry about what we're not going to hyper focus here. I shouldn't have pressed into that string. Ooh, this is another high string. So guess what? We're going to back up a little bit. Wait for me to get up here. Jump in. There it is. You messed it up. See this? We are too close to when it happens. So we're going to go back to the replay and back up just a little bit more. Get hit, come over, duck the string. Duck the string. Four. And 5. Now, if you feel like you need to, I'm very comfortable with my duck and punish. I'm very comfortable with knowing what my optimal punishes are. I would say don't spend too much time on it, but if you are newer to the game and you are missing your duck and punishes, do it maybe once or twice and do the full combo that comes from your duck and punish. But again, we're here for quick, we're here for efficient, we're trying to get back to those games. And that's basically it. You'll do that for, hold on, let's wait until you see me. Could be quick, could be not. So right there, we missed a punch. Now, not every punish will stop. Not every punish is going to, not every miss punish is going to pause the game and give you a tip. So you have to be paying attention to your frames. And I saw plus 13 pop up when I missed this low, or when I blocked this low, rather. So we hit, heat engager, guard crush. He goes for the low, we block it, it's 13. I didn't punish. So, go here. Punish. You're late. We're pressing buttons too soon. This is it. Well. Now, I could even be doing the wrong punish. For some reason, the punish indicator is not going up. remember. Maybe I have the wrong setting over, but you get the point. The point is that if you've noticed that you have missed a punish, that is what we do. You fix it 5 times, and every time it pops up, you will fix it 5 times. You will go through the entire replay like this until you have corrected every mistake 5 times. And again, when you first start doing this, it will take a while because naturally we make the most mistakes when we are in the beginning, in the middle, and there might be particular mistakes that we still make near the end. If you stay consistent with this though, it works. So let's go ahead and go back to the main menu here. So we've gotten how to jump back and forth between learning and playing games down. Now, this process, for me, helps alleviate that feeling of gaining nothing when you fight certain characters. So remember to stay patient because you will have to do this process many times. I cannot stress. I could even be repeating myself, but that is just how much I cannot stress how you will need to do this multiple times for months and months and months until you don't need to do it as much or as frequently. Now, the important thing is that we don't want to be doing this every game. We want to save this process for when we experience those. It's hard to put this into words. There are some matches that, I don't know, they just feel really bad. They sting in a different way, and it's an extra painful loss. That's when we want to use this process. We want to save those extra stinging losses for this, because we still want to be getting our games in. We don't just want to keep hopping back into the replays after every match. And with that, we will go to our next section. So in this section, we will talk about how to play and how we can improve our stamina for longer sessions. Unfortunately, while I would love to have the perfect answer for how much should I play, everyone has different goals, but what I can share is my personal Tekken sweet spot. For me, 30 games is about my absolute minimum. If I've set aside time to play Tekken for the day, I don't really feel like I get much out of any... I don't feel like I get much out of anything that's a lot less than 30. And on the other side of things, I really start to see lack in quality of my play once I get near the 80s and the 90s. Now, I can play more than that, and my hands can handle it, but the quality drop is highly noticeable between my physical and my mental. So if you don't have a starting point and you just want a basic idea of a range, I would say shoot from anywhere from 30 to 90 games a day. We're all different with different mental and physical capacities, different time availabilities, and different goals. So take some time and pay attention to your performance as you get into those higher game counts, and you can find the right number for you. Because Tekken is a pretty physically demanding game. Once you start getting into those longer sessions, our hands and wrists can start to hurt, and we definitely don't want to injure anything. So what can we do to play a good amount of time that we still see progress, but aren't overplaying? And what I consider to be overplaying is basically playing an amount of time that is not sustainable for your mental or your physical on a daily basis. If your hands and wrists start to get tired at 7 hours of playing, then you probably shouldn't be playing 7 hours a day. We don't want to play until the point of exhaustion. Playing while mentally or physically spent can lead to frustrating results. And bad habits. You can definitely develop some interesting bad habits by playing when you are tired. So it's important to pay attention and come up with the right number for you. alongside that advice, I have a tip I'd like to share that helped improve my overall stamina with the game. Wrist, forearm, and finger strengthening exercises have helped immensely for longer play sessions. At first, I could barely do 40 games before I started to feel some fatigue in my hands and forearms. But after I looked into a few exercises that focused on strengthening those areas, and after doing them every morning, it did take a while, I'd say about a week or two, but it wasn't before long that I was able to do 80 plus games easily without really feeling much of anything bad. Now, I'm not a professional trainer, I'm not a licensed anything, and all our bodies are different, so please do some research on your own and find the right things for your body if you decide to do this. I don't want anyone getting hurt over Tekken, but this is something that I did want to mention, as it's something I've never really seen mentioned before, or anywhere that I could find, really, and I've been watching Tekken videos for a long time. And it definitely has had a positive impact on my overall hand stamina. Now, alongside with that, we need to practice proper hand discipline. And what I mean by that is not slamming our buttons. Let's actually, you know what, let's go over to the training room, because this could serve to be a good time to have a good physical representation of what I'm talking about. So, we don't want to be slamming our buttons. I know it's a terrible bad habit. I had it. I still have it. Not as bad as I used to because I've been working on it, but it's a habit that I see a lot of players do, and I see a lot of players exhibit. And you can hear it too when they're streaming or in the YouTube videos. You can hear the slamming of the buttons. And I'm just thinking, man, if I did that for that long, my hands would be destroyed. So what do we do? The age-old question, what do we do? I think how I started to really notice that how hard I was slamming my hands was actually the reason why my hands were hurting near the end of my play sessions. So what I started to do, and it's gotten to the point where I can kind of incorporate this in the middle of matches, which is a huge contributing factor to my newfound hand stamina, is that when we do a combo, and this is how I started. No, I don't want punishment settings on. When we do a combo, and it's particularly a thing that I needed to develop because I was destroying my hands doing electrics, and I found that I don't need to. I just need to do a calm little press. Do I still mess it up? And am I more consistent when I'm a little more hard on the controller? Sure. But for the rest of the combo, I don't need to be as hard. I try to be as light as possible, as calm as possible, and as dedicatedly calm as I possibly can. I dropped the combo, but whatever. And practice that. Practice just being in neutral. Practice all your buttons. Practice being very light with your button presses. Rather you use controller or arcade stick. I think it's more important for people who do arcade stick to develop hand discipline. And I think on controller, it's not about the pressing of the buttons, it's the tensing and the gripping of your controller that you need to be careful of. Try to be as light as possible. Try to be like water, as the very popular quote goes. Try to be like water. Try to be as easy on your controller as possible. And I think you'll see a difference. I think you will. If you put some time and dedicate to practicing it, I do think you'll see a difference in how long you can play and how fresh you feel for your playing sessions. Now, this last tip, it's a little spiritual for me. It's a little superstitious. But this last tip, it might seem of no consequence, but there is something that I've started doing that I don't know why it worked, but once I started doing it, I was hopping into games faster. And I'll show you what it is. I'll show you what it is right this very second. We have our saved practice settings, and our saved practice settings actually apply to going into quick match. Into quick match or ranked. So instead of launching Tekken and going into the practice room, we launch Tekken,
Get ready for the next battle.
hit ranked or quick match, whatever we have decided to do for the day, and we immediately disable the matchmaking options because we still need to warm up. I'm a spiritual believer of warming up. Warming up is very important. I know there are people who don't need it. They can just hop right in and play the best they've ever played. That's not me. I can't do that. So we turn our matchmaking settings off, and we warm up. Now, there's something about just already, I don't know what it is, but there's something about just already being in the right place to start getting into the games, and you only need to, turn on a menu setting, start grinding away. But I think that what it is, just for me, is that it gives me less time because I'm not getting out of practice mode. I'm not going through the menus, and then I'm not picking, the quick match and all of that stuff. And I'm just like jumping straight in, and it gives me less time to start self-doubting or worrying about if I'm going to forget everything that I just practiced, or worrying about messing up an electric and neutral, or the next time I have to fight Kuma. And it just lowers the amount of time that my brain can build anticipation and anxiety towards playing the game. And that's all I got for you guys today. So I hope that this video has helped anyone who has needed it, and I wish you all the best of luck on your Tekken journey. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you on the next one.